Did anybody decipher what the Pokemon announcement yet was?
Yeah, so what's happening is, they announced that Pokemon are real, actually, this whole time.
I hate you. I actually was taking you seriously for about 2 seconds. I was like, wait, he's got something. Nope.
Yeah. Hear me out. So this whole time, they've been, like, they've just had these creatures, right? And they've just been making games and anime about them and stuff, and they're like, okay, it's time to, like, come clean.
It's all government conspiracy to keep them on the down low.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
I don't want you anymore.
That's fair.
I mean, I never wanted you to begin with, but I want you even less now.
Oh, good.
Good. Sounds legit. I'm actually looking it up right now and see if I can get an actual
I don't think
answer.
there's any, like, actual information on it yet.
Yeah, but somebody who knows the Japanese, like, I could only read about half of what was going on.
Yeah, but I read some stuff, and it seemed like nobody knows what's going on.
Oh, really? Alright, I'm over it. I'm not looking anything up then.
That's good. Usually what you should do is just not do anything.
Pokemon official teaser movie announcement Disney's 2017. What?
Yeah, whatever you just said.
I don't know. I think this is some stupid fan-made thing.
Oh, good. Hi, so welcome to True 4K Complainathon, whatever we're calling this stupid show. I forgot what it's called.
Knuckles.
And Knuckles, yeah. This is the second episode ever. Woohoo. It's amazing. It's gonna be kind of short today because someone has to be somewhere.
Well, it would have been normal time if Justin had shown up on time.
I'm always on time.
Just say it.
Sorry.
Isn't this our third reboot of the podcast?
Yeah.
Or second reboot?
Well,
the third iteration.
Like third iteration of pod. Well, did the original one actually have any gaming episodes though?
I don't remember.
I don't think it did.
That was like 4 years ago.
It's dumb. This is the first podcast we've ever done.
Dude, we should just, every time we do a podcast, yeah, exactly, we'll change the name and be like, brand new podcast. Podcast.
Being rebranded.
Wait.
We'll just prod every time.
Kind of like
we have to come up with a new name every time, man.
What Magic is doing with... Oh, God. I don't even want to think about what Magic's doing.
And we can, who? Is that a new band or something?
You know, Wizards of the... Oh, no. Why? Why have you done this to your camera?
Where'd she go?
Sideways.
I was trying to adjust my,
Yeah, Wizards of the Coast is doing dumb things, but we'll get to that. Maybe. Or maybe we won't. Video games. Yeah. Anyone played any games in the last 2 weeks?
No, don't ask me. You know what my answer is. The audience doesn't want to know my answer.
Okay. That's fair.
Fate Zero, not Fate Zero. I played a lot of Fate Grand Order.
Nice.
I was just talking about Fate Zero earlier today, and I was thinking about it.
Hmm.
I haven't played a mobile game that extensively since Record Keeper came out, and I honestly wasn't expecting it to find it this entertaining.
Huh. I don't play mobile games like ever, so I can't say anything.
So
Yeah,
it's not trash.
Your mileage may vary. I'm already a fan of the Fate series, so, and I had tried watching the Fate Grand Order anime, and I actually fell asleep during it, and so this is actually, like, oh, I can finally get the story that I missed out on, because it wasn't that interesting at the time, and the voice acting's really good. The gameplay is more fun than Record Keeper and other mobile games that I've played. It's a little more interactive, there's a little bit more strategy involved, and the art's silly, and the characters are fun, and the animations are good, and I'm into it.
Only thing I know about Fate is, one time at a con in the Crunchyroll-sponsored anime room, they were showing an episode of one of the Fates. I don't know which one, but it looked cool. I was like, oh, maybe I should watch that. I didn't.
Seems legit.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure the best thing to come out of the Fate series is Fate Zero, and that one was written by... That's because it wasn't written by the Dojin group that originally created it. It was written by Gen Urobuchi of Madoka and not Steins Gate. He worked for the company that made Steins Gate. Gen Urobuchi of Gen the Butcher fame, and honestly, I think that's why it's so much better than the other Fate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I believe the one I saw was Stay Night.
Yeah, Fate Stay Night's the original. It was an eroge originally, and it got made into an anime.
Really?
It was originally an eroge. You actually have sex with King Arthur. as a cute blonde anime girl. But it got made into an anime. It got made into various sanitized, non-Arrow visual novels. And it's been made into a ton of spin-offs in other little video game forms. I think there's like a PSP game. And now we're at Fate Grand Order. And I think there's another one coming out. But Fate Apocrypha, I think, is coming out. But it is a...
Anime's dumb.
It is a crazy complicated thing. The anime got remade to be much more coherent by a much better studio. Kind of explain more of the story and manga. Yeah. It's kind of an expansive series with a lot of characters, and people have their favorites. And the game gives you a chance to play with the old favorites, but also like recruit new ones that you would like ridiculous anime-ified historical figures like Attila the Hun is in like a white bikini and has a laser sword.
Of course.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, stuff like that. And yeah, I was supposed to finish. The first Phoenix Wright game, but I actually left my DS where I was staying, and I had to wait for it to get back in the mail. And keep meaning to go back to it. The battery is dead, or I get distracted.
I was gonna say, haven't you been playing that game for like 5 years now? Like, what is happening?
No, I actually only just got a hold of it. Because for some reason when Phoenix Wright first came out, I thought the localization sounded so stupid I didn't care, and then it kind of turned into this like nerd culture phenomenon. And a friend gave me a copy, and I started it about a month ago.
So pretty much 5 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It's actually before now. Anyway, other people talk that aren't me.
I've been playing lots of Dark Souls. Dark Souls 3 is actually my first... Well, it's my first Souls game that has Souls in the name. My first one was Bloodborne. But yeah, Dark Souls 3 is my like introduction to the series, technically. It's great. I just beat it, actually. I just beat the final boss last night. And started on the Ring City DLC. I didn't get the first one because I heard it was bad. And I didn't want to spend $30 on bad, so...
What the heck? The first one was 30 by
No,
itself?
no, they're 15 each, or 25 together. That's basically 30. But yeah, I was like, nah, I'll just get the Ring City because I heard it was good. Ever since last night, I have been fighting the first boss. I can't beat that boss. I swear, I think that boss is harder than anything in the base game. But yeah,
how would you compare it to Bloodborne? 'Cause I played Bloodborne. I played Demon Souls when it came out. And then I played Bloodborne, and then I went back to Dark Souls 1. I still played 2 or 3. So how would you compare it to Bloodborne?
I think I prefer Bloodborne overall. Just because, I mean, I didn't feel like I was coming in late to anything. I prefer the theme of Bloodborne. It's all gothic and creepy. Dark Souls is still pretty creepy, but it still isn't, like,
It's
Bloodborne.
not the gothic Lovecraftian horror of Bloodborne.
It's pretty great. I mean, I really enjoy it. Combat-wise, I haven't played the other Souls games, but I heard this one's closer to Bloodborne. I think it's not that far off, so, I mean, I like it.
Do you feel like the bosses are harder or easier? Do you feel like the combat's harder?
From what I remember, I want to say I found the Bloodborne harder. But, the thing is, Bloodborne also runs at 30 frames per second. So
does it really? You're such a liar.
Doesn't
I don't
it?
believe you.
I'm pretty sure it does. Right, being a PS4 game and all.
There were some bosses in Bloodborne that I had a really hard time with that I never really had that difficulty level with Dark Souls, but I also did a lot of co-op in Dark Souls where I completely soloed Bloodborne.
I actually did have a lot of co-op in Dark Souls 3, which definitely made some of the bosses easier.
Oh,
I mean, there was one boss who I didn't even know how I was supposed to fight it. I was like, what even is this? And then someone came and was like, oh, you just do this. And it's like, that was literally the easiest boss fight in the game. It's like, I just didn't know what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, like, I think, honestly, with Parl, I almost broke my PS3 controller, like, throwing it across the room. And it's funny, because a lot of people are like, Parl wasn't that hard. And I was like, well, I didn't have a hard time with Bloodstarved Beast, so... I don't know, man. Parl just fucking owned me.
I think something Bloodborne did differently is their bosses are a lot faster. They kind of come at you just like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Just like with no warning. There are a couple bosses like that in Dark Souls 3, but a lot of them are very slow. and you just kind of see them coming in. Like, I know that I'm in a corner and I can't get away from this,
Like,
but I still have to
see
wait
you guys.
and see my death coming. But yeah, I feel like Bloodborne is still overall a faster game, but Dark Souls 3 definitely isn't as slow as what I heard Dark Souls had always been. I still might go back and like play 2 or something. Probably not 1 because it's too old.
Wasn't
But
2 considered the worst in their
Was it?
series?
2 was supposed to be the worst one.
Oh,
Yeah.
oops.
No,
Well,
1
maybe
is
I won't
really
then.
good. Yeah. What I honestly, this is probably.
I think I own 1 actually. Maybe I'll
Would be.
eventually get around to it.
Everybody owns 1, bro.
Yeah.
1 is. Yeah, you could probably get it for free at this point. I'm assuming they're just giving it away.
Mhm.
But nothing is going to ever be as slow as Demon Souls.
Oh,
Because-
dude.
Yeah. When you I played Demon Souls and I was a big baby and it was too hard for me. But because I didn't know anything about Kingsfield, there weren't all kind of the jokes about like get good and stuff with Demon Souls, or like, hey, don't pick a class that wears armor because you're just gonna roll like a slow potato going down a hill. And Dark Souls 1 like picked it up way. Just something about it is a little bit faster and easier, and I don't know. It was just all I can think of is that like the character animations are faster. And even though there's still like that huge variety of armor and weapons, it kind of seemed easier to like, okay, you can get like some basic armor that lasts you a long time,
Yeah.
like that kind of that sort of iconic soldier armor, and it's not like your starting armor is garbage if you play
Right.
like a paladin or something. Yeah, but Demon Souls is a really cool world, but Dark Souls is just so much more fun to play.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but Dark Souls. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. Like, I actually sat through more of Demon Souls than I did Dark Souls personally. Like, I don't know how far I got in Dark Souls actually. I think I got like 4 or 5 hours in, and like Demon Souls, I got like a little bit over halfway before I gave up.
Okay, so have you not beaten either of them?
No, I didn't. I was a pretty big baby too.
Oh no,
Honestly.
yeah, no shame here.
I never
Yeah,
beat
honestly-
Bloodborne.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay.
I kind of
It's okay,
want to
though.
go back, but
Last boss is trash anyways.
30 frames. I don't.
That's if you're lucky. Honestly,
Oh,
it's
man.
30 frames. Like, I was reading about it right now, and apparently a lot of people were reporting frame rate loss, which is one of the biggest problems. And the only thing they improved on the PS4 Pro is giving it stable 30 FPS instead of intermittent 30 FPS.
Oh man, I must just be a fucking plebe because that kind of thing either I don't notice or I only notice when it's really bad. And I don't recall having issues with frame loss when I was like actually on bosses. Like it was mostly just kind of like loading an area. That's like the only time I feel like.
Oh, dude, speaking of loading area, remember that stupid PvP area? Oh,
In Dark
my
Souls 1?
God. No, in Bloodborne.
PvP? Oh no, because since I didn't have a PlayStation Plus membership, I literally saw no one in the game ever.
Oh, you lucky punk. There's this area, you know,
Oh,
the
but then you
area
can't
where
get like signs either, though.
No, there's no PvP and there's no co-op.
Dude, so
There's
remember,
no online interaction.
remember
which
that
area?
where it's like, what's the best way to describe it? It's a area where like it feels like you're being shot at by mortar the whole entire time.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Is that Old Yarnum? I think that's Old Yarnum.
I don't remember what the name of it was, but it was like an open area, like you're going towards like this building in the distance. I remember it, and then there's
Is that where
like,
there was an
the
skeleton
NPC at the
everywhere.
top shooting at you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's Old Yarnum, I think.
that whole level is a PvP area. And it's a forced PvP area, so like that level killed me so hard because I couldn't I already didn't know what was going on, and then just players are just like killing me the whole time. Like, all right, and then later I found out you have to actually kill somebody that's around the corner, like a little bit farther away in the opposite direction, to deactivate the PvP bell.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
But, I almost quit the game when that happened. I'm not gonna lie.
that's understandable. Yeah, because that area was kind of hard enough as it was. There was a lot of like all of the wolf creatures
Yeah, the
that
stupid
would like
wolves.
sneak out of nowhere, and you know you had to tiptoe around corners to avoid getting shot by the hunter with a minigun.
Oh man, I love that game so much.
No guns
So-
in Dark Souls. No guns.
No miniguns?
Just fire.
No miniguns,
and
no guns at
arrows.
all. Yeah.
Lame.
Oh,
I want my
there's
guns back.
there's one
Roll.
section of the game though where you're going through and there's a giant who has like a giant like bow and he shoots like javelins down at you. That's fun.
Nice. That seems legit.
Do they fly like super slow, like in Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1?
They're not that slow. You can kind of like you can hear them coming when they're close, and you can see them, and it's like, oh no. You can get to a point though where you can kind of talk to him. It's great because you're kind of like, hey, can you like stop shooting at me? And he's like, yeah. I thought I was gonna have to fight him, and he's like, oh yeah, sure, cool.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I felt like the story for Bloodborne is like the most, you get the most information from both the NPCs and the items. Like, when I finished Bloodborne, I felt like I had a really good handle on the world and the story and what had happened. When I finished Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls, I kind of felt like that was interesting, but I feel like I missed a lot of it, and like I ended up like watching a ton of YouTube videos like explaining it. I don't know if it's, I mean, I feel like I played it really thoroughly, but I don't know. Bloodborne managed to combine all of like the lore on items and dialogue to kind of give something a little bit more coherent without spoon-feeding everything to you.
Maybe Dark Souls 3 improve on that out of curiosity?
Yeah.
Or provide that at least?
What? Did it provide what?
The story, like the more...
Well, you get a grasp of the story and the setting and the characters.
In comparison with Bloodborne.
I think Bloodborne felt like it had more. Well, it's hard. Like, they're really, like, I can say that having beaten Dark Souls 3, I don't know what that game was about.
Okay.
There were probably at least half the bosses didn't even come with cutscenes.
Dang.
I mean, there's, like, a lot of lore that I can tell is there, but I'm like, the game doesn't give you much story at all.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of one of those show not tell, and then sometimes if you don't pay a lot of attention, you don't necessarily get the show either. Or rather, not to say that you didn't pay attention, but like if you have the kind of play style where like everybody and you don't like sit down and read every single item description and like everything's scribbled on the ground kind of thing. Like, it's definitely kind of I don't know, man. I just like the unique storytelling and world building experience that the Souls series kind of gives you. But I feel like Bloodborne did it best in terms of how it was presented. You don't need to like, if you get the items and you play the game and you talk to the characters, I guess in the right order, then you get a pretty good idea of what's happening. Because the first time through Bloodborne, I think we missed the Crow Lady NPC, and so like we missed some of her dialogue. So we talked to her once, maybe twice, and then all of a sudden she was going crazy trying to kill us, and we're like, wait a minute, what happened? Because like I think we went into nighttime too soon, and so like we missed a bunch of stuff the first time, and then we went back and replayed it and like used a guide the second time and like found every little nook and cranny of like, okay, we got to talk to her this time and find out what she has to tell us and why she eventually flips out and tries to kill you and that kind of thing.
Screw that! I attacked every NPC I found. Not gonna lie.
Aggro as fuck.
Yeah, dude.
Tipo aggro.
That's the real way to play Bloodborne. I'm not gonna lie.
You get everybody's armor that way. It's easy to get everybody's armor.
I mean, like, I'm not super familiar with the series, so I didn't know what to expect. So I was just like, okay, like, I just talked to them, and I'm like to experiment, so I was like, let's hit them, see what happens. And every single one hit me back. I was like, all right, sweet. Maybe I should have stopped at some point, but you gotta make sure, you know?
You never know when that person's gonna try to stab you in the back, which kind of does
exactly.
happen. Yeah, because she ended up being pretty challenging to fight, but
Oh, dude, my favorite was killing the one in the wheelchair. Because she, like, does stupid... Oh, my God.
They have those guns that they shoot at you when you run in the circle.
Yeah, the NPCs are really stupid. I hate them all. They're really
There's an area with the tower with a bunch of the guys in them, and there's several guys in wheelchairs, and there's several guys that are, like, going down the staircase.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man.
Good times.
And they're always... Yeah.
Alright, Bloodborne time.
I love to get bad at those games.
Let's do it. Let's play Bloodborne, you and me.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm down. I'm just starting a new character.
Ultimately, I want to say I preferred Bloodborne, but I mean, I finished Dark Souls 3, and I got it on PC with all the frames that entails. But Bloodborne overall, I think, had a better theme, and that was what sold it for me. Yeah. Dark Souls 3 is great, though. I love it. so far.
I was crushed when they said that there would be no Bloodborne 2. Like, there's just such a rich world to play in. I just want to keep playing more game. Like, I was like, where do I put down more money for more DLC? Because, like, I just want to keep playing this game over and over again in different ways and with more story and additional characters. And just please give me more content.
Did you play the Old Hunters?
I did, yeah. I 100%ed Bloodborne and the Old Hunters in its entirety. Every single achievement.
Nice.
I love the bosses and the
it took
DLC.
a lot of time.
So good.
Yeah, I love the clock tower. I love, like, there's an NPC you talk to who's, like, giving herself injections, and, like, every time you come back, and she just, like, eventually just turns into a pile of goo that can talk to you, and she's just, like, euphoric, and, like, I can see everything and feel everything. My body's gone, but, oh, my brain has so many eyes.
Oh, man. Good
It's
times.
so good at being creepy, yeah.
I love it. Give us Bloodborne 2!
Yeah,
Stop
honestly.
being mean.
Please, please.
Or at least a spiritual successor or something.
Yeah, I just want to be in that world more.
Yep, same. Alright.
What else we got?
I don't know.
Well, let's see. I have also been playing some Dead Cells, which is great. It's like a kind of Metroidvania, sort of roguelite, sort of all the genres I hate all rolled up into one, but for some reason, Dead Cells just really got me. And I'm like, oh, it's great. I love it. It's also really Dark Souls inspired, too, so there's that. You collect cells, which are souls, and like upgrade over time with that. So it's really great. I love it.
I thought you don't like playing early access games.
I don't. That's the other thing. It's also an early access game.
I didn't even know it was early access. Wow.
Yeah. It's literally
the genres you
everything.
hate, and it's early access.
Yeah. Like, I don't know why. And it's like retro-inspired pixel graphics and everything. I'm like so tired of that. I don't know. I really love it. It feels really smooth and fluid. The animations are great. It's just fun. I'm like, cool. Okay. I like this. Surprisingly.
Well, it's cool that it works, yeah.
Yeah. I like it a lot so far. And I know that they plan to keep adding more, so cool. Good. I think they said they wanted to have twice the content by the time it officially comes out. They haven't said when that will be, but, no.
Great.
That was going to be my next question. Is there a release date?
No.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Sweet. I mean, as long as it comes out before, what is that stupid game called? DayZ comes out.
God.
Then we'll be
DayZ's
good.
never coming out.
Not.
It's gonna be in
early access forever. Yeah.
And people are going to play it forever. I have friends that have been playing it all this time, and they still play it every night.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, like, Ark came out recently and doubled their price out of nowhere for no reason. And
yeah,
everyone's mad at them, of course, but what I found most funny was the DayZ developer came and said something. I was like, you don't get to say anything.
Nice.
Y'all have to finish a game first.
Yeah.
Just kidding. We
At least Ark is trying to release now.
Yeah, I feel like with Ark it actually kind of makes sense, because they're like, look, it's a finished product. I'm like,
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of people are saying, no, it's not. So I'm like, uh-oh. But, okay.
Great. Great.
You know what's fun still is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Plunkbat.
What?
Nobody call it that.
Great.
Oh, is that why your name is that?
Yeah, because
on
I
Steam?
changed my Steam name to Plunkbat because I thought it was dumb that people are calling it Plunkbat. What's wrong with PUBG? Everyone called it PUBG. That's what it is.
What's PUBG?
It is another early access game. It's a like battle royale type thing where 100 players dropped on island and you gotta just like kill each other until you're the last one standing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the King of the Kill and all that, except it's better. And it's been doing really well. It has the last time I heard it had 4 million sales, but I believe it's doubled since then.
Okay.
It's been just at the top of the Steam sales. Like, I believe it might still be the #1 selling game on Steam. Let me actually check. It's been like at the top of Twitch this whole time since it came out.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it's doing great. Yeah, it's still the #1 selling game on Steam, looks like. Right above Black Desert. I don't know why Black Desert's still up there. That's crazy. MMOs don't last that long.
Somebody playing Black Desert Online? Tipu?
I'm
that's
playing
Justin.
it. I've kind of taken another break from it recently, but I've been kind of playing it a little, yeah.
Okay. I've kind of this fascination with MMORPGs ever since EverQuest 1. I've been kind of fascinated with, okay, what are the mechanics? What are the classes? What are the races? Like, even if I never play them, I still love to hear about them.
Nice.
Yeah, so PUBG is still the #1 game on Twitch, above League of Legends, above Overwatch, above Hearthstone.
Oh my god.
Why is Hearthstone so high up there right now? Actually.
People still play Hearthstone?
I mean, Hearthstone's cool and all, but I'm surprised that it's so... Oh, there's an event going on right now, isn't there?
Yeah, the double gold. You're the one who told me about it, you jerk.
Did I? No. I mean, there's like a tournament going on right now.
Is there?
Something. Or maybe it ended, I don't know. Why is Hearthstone so high up right now?
I guarantee you it's probably the double gold. Everybody I know started playing it again who doesn't.
Oh, there's I think the official Hearthstone channel is streaming it right now. They have 10k viewers, which is keeping it up there.
Oh, really? I went to the official Hearthstone website and there's no global events happening this month apparently.
Huh.
According to them.
Dungeons & Dragons is up there too, #5 on Twitch right now.
Oh, here we go, July 13th. Good gaming. I'm trying to see if there's anything big. I don't see anything big. There's just a normal amount of events. Whatever. I'm over it.
But yeah, anyway, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is great. As for Black Desert, it's also good. I don't know. I've never found an MMO for me that's perfect. There's always something about every MMO that I don't like. For WoW, it's the combat, which... So sad that it has to be that. So sad it has to be something so major that I don't like about WoW. Because I really do enjoy WoW, but then when it comes to combat, I get so sick of it.
It's, not... I mean, it's not super complicated at this point. I mean, it's... I don't know. It kind of helps set the standard.
Feel, like, involved at all.
I mean, that's... So here's the problem, actually. I keep telling this to Justin, but Justin ignores me because he doesn't care.
I know you keep telling me raids are more involved, but...
It's not just raids. Instant constant. Okay, so the thing about WoW is it's more mechanic-based than it is combat-based. So if you're not doing dungeons and raids, then you're not really seeing anything that the game is offering. If you're not doing dungeons and raids or PvP, those are the three main things that really the game's concepts and mechanics are built around. So that's the problem. Like, it's not like Secret World, for example, or like Black Desert, where it's more combat oriented and you have an interesting scheme. Where no, it's you have to know how the fights work because every fight is a gimmick. It's kind of how it works. So it makes things a little more interesting. So combat is just like, who cares about combat? Like, we don't need to learn about that. We just need to learn how to do the freaking fights and not wipe 14 times in a row for 17 hours. Not speaking from experience, of course.
Did you ever play Ion by any chance?
No, I never did.
Ion had a really fun combo system with combat where if you would hit an ability, you would get you hit an ability and then you would have it would proc. Every ability was a proc, and so you would choose which proc you wanted to do to pick your combos. And I thought it was a lot more fun and interactive because even healers had that rather than just okay, I'm just gonna hit the same heal over and over again, or hit the same heal over time and then heal. Even the healers had something a little bit more interactive, and I always kind of like that. But it was a Korean MMO. It was super grindy. It didn't last very long, but oh man, it was fun to play, and the character creation was better than any game since then. Nice. You could customize every iota of your face. You could customize, and you
can do that in Black Desert. You can move every little piece of face and everything around. It's really in depth and kind of hard to use, but yeah, Black Desert. I really enjoy the combat, but then for me the world is kind of not great. There's not really story that I'm interested in. There's no lore that I'm oh, this is cool. The world just seems kind of empty to me. I wish I could have Black Desert style combat in WoW.
In WoW, because you kind of have that rich world with the kind of the story and the characters.
Yeah, because that's what I love about WoW is just going to every new zone and being oh wow, this is new. I'm getting to see all this crazy stuff and meet all these characters and stuff.
But what about your camel friend?
What?
Camel friend?
Yeah, remember your camel friend? Or was that the horse that That was a game where you went to the edge of the map and
Oh
like,
yeah, I
almost
forgot.
died, right?
Yeah, in Black Desert there is a desert in the game, which it'd be crazy if there wasn't with a name like that. But the desert is like extremely end game. Like when you're in like around what people consider to be end game, it's still hard to cross that desert because you need water and like you actually get like heat stroke and die. So crossing that desert is really difficult, and when you get to the end of it, there's like a big city on the other end. But yeah, there's like camels and stuff. It was really cool to like go over there, but then like once you're there, it still suffers from that. Like I feel like there's not enough stuff to do in Black Desert. So I don't know. MMOs are hard for me. I can never find one that actually has everything I want.
You gotta balance. It's hard to balance the story and the characters and the setting and the gameplay. I mean, that it seems like it's always going to be one or the other. I feel like 14's gameplay is revolutionary. It's basically the same as WoW with different classes, and the classes function differently. But since I got burned out on WoW during Cataclysm, I don't know. Final Fantasy. I think Final Fantasy 14 has one of the strongest stories I've seen in an MMO probably ever.
I've heard a lot about.
It's actually feels like it's true to the Final Fantasy name, because like the story is kind of it's like a Final Fantasy game. It's kind of serious. There's an empire invading. There's like genocide and imperial occupation and colonialism, and but there's also like this goofy detective that wears a tuxedo and chocobos and mogs and drinking, and I don't know.
Chocobos are important. Okay.
Yeah. Chocobos are very important. Do not underestimate the importance of chocobos. No, there's just something about it that I feel like Final Fantasy 11, I didn't play 11 extensively, but I feel like it didn't really feel super Final Fantasy, whereas I feel like 14 feels like it fits in with the rest of the numbered games. Like, it doesn't just feel like it's an online game with Final Fantasy slapped onto it. Like, it has just kind of just something about like that story that's in-depth and involving, and characters that you're invested in and you care about.
Yeah.
That I feel like I haven't really felt in an MMO for a long time, probably since like Burning Crusade, really. And even then, like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm more like, I love Warcraft 3 and I enjoyed WoW a lot, but I feel like I wasn't as invested in the characters. I was just kind of like, oh, this is cool, I like playing in this world and invested in the story, but like, I don't know. Something about it just gets
That's
me.
how I was too until I finally went Horde,
Like,
and I was like, oh, all the Horde characters are interesting.
Yeah,
unlike the Alliance, which is garbage.
Really boring.
But yeah, I mean, I've
think part
enjoyed.
of the problem... Go ahead, you first.
Oh, okay, I've enjoyed what I've seen of Final Fantasy 14. For me, it's just like I'm not gonna pay monthly for 2 MMOs.
No, you gotta choose between. I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. That's part of the problem why I don't really ever switch over. It's just like, man, like, I could play something new, or I could, keep playing WoW.
You get those free playtime periods, though. You should just check it out at some point, see what it's all about.
I mean, I got about halfway through Vanilla 14, to be honest. Like,
Oh, you did? Like, 1.0?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And then, like, I actually enjoyed it. I understand a lot of the changes they did, which were good, but there's a lot of simplification that happened in the game, and a lot of the depth and complexity that was in the game kind of got thrown into the side in order to become more accessible, and that kind of made me shy away, because I was already upset with WoW for doing that, and that's kind of why I went over to 14. And I was like, if I'm going to get the same kind of experience, I might as well go back to something I know I like, like... Okay. But, that being said, I didn't get very far in Realm Reborn, because I think it was, like, right when they launched, they gave all, like, old players, like, a free month or two. I don't remember how long it was, but they gave us free time to play up until we had to pay again. Yeah. And I played enough of it to know, like, I would like it if I actually played it, but like you said,
yeah.
I mean, I can't. Yeah, I'm not gonna pay for 2. Like, there's free ones I play. I play Secret World. I play Star Trek Online and
Star Trek Online. Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude, I love Star Trek Online. It's so amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. They're on like patch like 450 million. Like, it's obnoxious.
That's impressive.
Oh, and they had a guest. Oh my God, who was it? There was another guest star they had recently from, I think it was a Voyager cast. I forget who it was, but that's another thing I love. They get guest stars from like the old shows on there all
Oh,
the
that's
time to do like
amazing.
quest lines. Yeah, it's great. Like it's not actually canon, but it's like what would happen if the story had continued after Voyager. And that's what this story
Yeah.
is about.
Nice.
I love it.
That's way cool.
It's fun, and it feels. That's the other thing. It feels Star Trekky. Like there's a lot of exploration involved. You know, there's the space combats, like the space. So all raiding and like actual incident content is actually space combat. So and you have like a lot of control over your ship, which is one of my favorite things about the game. Like, you know, you actually have to control your shields and how it's set, where it's set. You have to control their proportions. Like, did you ever play X-Wing or TIE Fighter out of curiosity?
Oh yes, I did. I played the hell out of TIE Fighter and X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
Imagine the kind of settings you have to deal with while flying your ship in there in an MMO. Like that's what you get. Like it's a really complex combat system, but the problem is like half the game does take place on the ground, and the ground combat is literally just press one button and that's it. Like it's really stark contrast between space and ground. It's really frustrating. A lot of people end up quitting because of that. Like, and it's bad because like in order to progress the game, you have to do the ground combat. But none of the actual group instance stuff is ground combat. So then, like, you have to also separate from your group a lot of times to continue the story, and it's really weird.
Yeah. When Star Wars, I wanted to play Star Wars Galaxy so badly, and when they introduced space stuff, and it was just, like, the game was already kind of dying at that point, and Veront was dying. It was the company that made EverQuest, and they were kind of slowly tanking, and their management was terrible, and I never actually even got to hear about what space stuff was like in Star Wars Galaxies, just because like everybody I knew that was still had just kind of given up at that point.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, and then like, oh man, I just was not happy with how the Old Republic, the way the Old Republic was supposed to be. I don't even know if Old Republic has space stuff, but it's just like it's just not.
It does now. It has space combat. Yeah, right when I left was around the time that they introduced the space combat. And then I quit after that. It was right before the Hutt Cartel launched. Actually, it was when I quit.
Oh, okay.
And,
yeah, I had like obnoxious like fan canon objections to some of the stuff in Old Republic, which is why I was like salty about playing it. I was like, it should still belong here. Oh my gosh, I don't want to play a game with the chips because it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. It gets even better than that. Like Revan gets resurrected, or not resurrected. So this is my favorite part. Like this is what made me angry because when I started reading up about, because they were hinting at what was going to happen in the expansion after Cartel, and like they were talking about it. And Revan apparently was held captive by the Sith Emperor for like what was it, like 200 years? I'm just like, first of all, how is he still alive? Second of all, why is he bad again? Third of all, why did his soul split in half, and why is he two separate characters now? Like, it's like totally like it's like a fanfic. The whole entire thing they did with Revan in this game.
Yeah, no, the soul splitting up thing was like the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah, this was stupid.
Why would you think that was a good idea?
They shouldn't have brought him back to begin with. Honestly, they should have. If they were going to, they should have done something like what WoW does with the time walking. Like, they could have done something like that, like a flashback sequence, and that's a dungeon or something. That could have been cool, but, like, bringing him back totally ruined everything. Like, that was stupid.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah. Didn't make any sense.
That is, like you said, that is dumb fanfic tier, basically.
Yeah, It was. I wanted to like that game so much, but, like, there's so many things wrong with it. Like, I know it was something that they advertised as being something really cool, but, like, I hated that everything was voice acted. Like,
yeah, no, none of it worked. None of it did, in spite of being an obnoxious Star Wars nerd that was actually just shopping for Comic-Con exclusives. It just, I don't know, something about it just rubbed me the wrong way. Which is funny because, like, I guess it's because, like, I was really into the Old Republic comics when I was a kid.
That shit was good. Good stuff.
Yeah, and as much as I liked Knights of the Old Republic, and I wanted to see them explore stuff that wasn't the Rebellion era, I don't know. Everything about the game just did not, like, it just rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know. I was like, this is a game for casuals. I don't know.
Pretty much. And it's gotten even worse, of course. Like every MMO, it gets more and more simple as you go on.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
Oh, man, we were talking about Hearthstone earlier. Did either of you guys ever play or even hear about the game Duelist?
Yes! Duelist is really good.
I love Duelist, and I couldn't get anybody to play it with me, and I just like played for hours and hours by myself against random.
They just announced today that they're getting picked up by Bandai Namco as the publisher.
Oh my gosh. I need a mobile version. So, okay, Tipu, and for people that are, maybe if anybody's watching this, so Duelist is like Hearthstone, where it's a digital card game, but in addition to that, there is a grid, and it's also a tactical RPG. So your cards become sprites, like with old school sprite art. They get put on a grid, and you choose where they attack and use their abilities. So it's like, okay, yeah, Hearthstone, okay, it's a card game. So it's a card game and a tactical RPG, and it just adds this, like, I was never in digital card games because I played CCG so much, I got burned out on CCGs, but like, oh my gosh, Duelist just kind of like scratched this itch that I didn't know I had for tactical RPGs and for CCGs. And
Duelist is very good.
There's like a huge number of cards. They all have these amazing, unique animated sprites. It was so good, and I couldn't lure anybody away from Hearthstone, and I couldn't get anybody to play with more than a couple matches. But it was so well made, and seemed like it was fairly balanced, because I bounced around between different factions, and there was no like, this faction beats everything. This faction, it was just like, they all worked together really well, and I had a great time.
Yeah, that was the same thing for me, is I just couldn't really find anyone to play it with consistently, so I just kind of quit. Because I was playing in the beta, and then by the time it actually came out, I just kind of had been like, well, I don't have anyone to play this with, so... Never even got to see any of the expansions. There's like 4 by now or something crazy like that.
Oh my gosh, is there really?
I don't know if there's 4, but there's definitely
a few months ago, and they had released an expansion while I was playing then, and that was kind of around the time I started to feel a little overwhelmed, because I didn't want to dump too much money into it to try to build my decks, and so I couldn't really like creep out. I couldn't get out of silver, and so I don't know. I think I ended up like, oh gosh, I like took a vacation or something, and when I got back, I just was not in.
Yeah, the 4th extension just came out.
Yeah, for 2 months though, I would get home from work and play Duelist until it was time for bed.
It is really good.
It's really good. And if anybody's watching this, please check out Duelist if you like Hearthstone. And if you
don't, like, yeah, it's also like, it's a very like tactical. I think they said it was really inspired by Fire Emblem.
Yeah, it sounds different. Have you played
one of the head designers on it used to be a lead producer at Blizzard too.
Oh, cool.
Nice. Have you played PSO3 out of curiosity? Like, that's what it sounds like by your guys' description.
No, I've never played the third one. I've only ever played the first.
Because that's basically how the game was. It was a grid-paced tactical game, but card game. Like, it wasn't like the other PSO games. It was completely different. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it to death. That was actually the only one I actually played through to the end.
Huh.
Yeah. For a while, a lot of people were playing Shadowverse, and I was like, guys, can we play Duelist too?
Shadowverse is... It's okay. I mean, it's anime Hearthstone.
Yeah, I couldn't get into Shadowverse. I guess maybe it was because I was super invested in Duelist at the time, but like, even though I like the idea of a single-player campaign, but I just like the design and the feel of Duelist better, and also like, maybe if Duelist had a single-player campaign.
That would have been cool, yeah.
But hopefully it's doing, the fact that I was worried about, like, indie games that aren't super huge, popular, big names, like, disappearing. So, but hopefully since Duelist has that card game element, people are continuing to put money into it, and it will continue to succeed.
And getting picked up by Bandai Namco is pretty big.
Yeah, it's funny that I just went to check on the number of expansions, and on Steam, like, the very first comment is, the devs have taken such a damn bad decision. Using Bandai Namco as a publisher is pure suicide and won't give the game no benefits, blah, 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 cash grabbing. Like, I don't know, maybe they'll make a mobile version and I can play it.
Oh, I would love a mobile version. That would give me, like, a reason to install something on my phone.
Gosh, yeah. But
yeah,
man, I wanted to make sprites of all those characters.
I do like comparing it to Hearthstone because it has a lot of similarities, but I feel like nowadays just calling something like Hearthstone is just like, oh, don't play this. Because just play Hearthstone.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, like, there's all these people, like, this comment here, it's like Hearthstone, but worse. It's like, well, it's not really.
I mean, you can get worse than Hearthstone, let's be real.
Hearthstone's cool.
It is not
terrible,
cool. I
but-
hate Hearthstone.
Hearthstone's terrible, and I've been playing it lately.
Oh my god.
But yeah, Duelist is really good. I should probably reinstall that
were,
and see how these
I have
expansions
a lot of
are.
friends that were never into Warcraft or World of Warcraft that played Hearthstone. It's like, I don't know, maybe that means people will play other card games or other video games.
Yeah,
Probably
I actually I played Hearthstone before I ever played WoW.
Really?
Hearthstone was the first game I played on the actual Battle.net launcher.
No shit.
I can't say
Okay.
it's my first Blizzard game because Diablo 2, but yeah, it was the first game I played on the Battle.net launcher actually. And I
What
was like,
about-
oh, I should play this other junk.
Did you play Warcraft 3 at all?
I have, but not like until like recently.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, I guess, I don't know, because I was so into Warcraft 3, like, making that leap. I kind of didn't care about Blizzard when it was first, I didn't care about World of Warcraft when it was first announced, even though I was a huge fan of Warcraft 3 because I was still invested in EverQuest at the time, but, you
I
know,
was a
that
baby
Blizzard
when World of Warcraft was announced.
You're still a baby.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, I guess that must be why,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Well, what were you, like a 4-year-old when you played Diablo 2?
No, I didn't play Diablo 2 when it was new.
He actually just came out of the womb. He was like, Diablo 2 time.
Just like an
Oh,
infant, like touching their hands on the
But yeah, I didn't play it when it was new. But
Oh.
yeah.
What about StarCraft?
I haven't played the first one. I played some of 2.
Don't.
I'm just
play the
not that
first
much of an
What do you
RTS
mean
person.
don't?
That game is hard as hell, and for somebody who's not good at RTS
Yeah,
games,
I'm not
it's
good
not
at
something that you should play.
RTSs, and I don't find them that much fun, so,
I guess
Wow.
I assume that I'm not very good at RTSs because I've only ever played StarCraft and I played a lot of Shogun. We played a lot of Shogun, but that's not the same kind of RTS. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Shogun's a little different. That doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably not good at RTSs, but I really love StarCraft 1.
If you can beat the campaign in StarCraft 1, you can probably beat almost any RTS's campaign. Like, that game's really
Good.
freaking hard.
You know,
Actually,
I didn't beat the last Protoss mission, so there's that.
oh, good. So you didn't beat. Okay, fair enough.
Mm.
See, so you get it. Then it's not an easy game, and like that's coming from somebody who like grew up in RTS. Like
was
the
just-
only
I was
game I
just,
find
like-
harder.
I was gonna say, I was only like 18 then, but I was like, I've only gotten worse at video games, not better, so it's probably gonna not be good. But I'm really excited about that re-release thing because I always wanted to go back and beat it in Brood War, and I'm like, that's my chance.
Oh my god, Brood War is even worse. That game's so hard. I hate that game.
And I remember Brood War.
And then I think the funny thing is the other hardest RTS that I find really difficult is also a Blizzard game, which is the first Warcraft. Like that game, that's actually the only Blizzard game I've actually played that I have never beaten, like without cheats.
Humans versus orcs.
Yeah, that game is so freaking hard. I remember playing it as a kid and I was like, what is happening? Like I can't do this. It's so frustrating, that game. It
Yeah.
was not I don't think it was a good game in my opinion. Like I'm really impressed they improved so much after that.
I think even the developers admit that it's a mess at this point. It was like some interview with a bunch of Blizzard people. They were like, yeah, it hasn't aged well at all.
Yeah, it's a really it's really
Blizzard kind of is like that. Like, I forget, I think it might have been a BlizzCon, someone asked for, like, a Diablo 1 remake or something. Or, well, no, it probably wouldn't have been that because they just did that in Diablo 3. But, someone asked something about one of their earlier games, and they were like, you don't want us to do that. Those aren't good
I think
games.
it was Warcraft.
It might have been. They were just
I'm
like,
pretty
they
sure.
haven't aged well. You don't want us to re-release those games. Trust
Yeah.
us.
Okay, like a remake would be cool, but not a re-release necessarily.
No, definitely not like
Yeah.
a remaster like StarCraft is doing. Don't do that. That game's trash. Like,
Yeah,
don't
like, I
bring it
think
back.
what they did with Diablo, just
No, not
like,
StarCraft. I'm talking about Warcraft.
Oh, okay. Warcraft 1. Warcraft 1 probably needs a remake. Just, well, I don't know. It got a remake in the form of a movie, I suppose. I wonder if that movie did well
Kinda.
enough to get a sequel.
I think what's his name? The guy who directed it was talking about doing a number 2, so I think they're working on it.
The guy who
So-
directed it is Zoe Bowie. I can't think of his real name. Shit.
wasn't it, Duncan Jones?
Yeah, there we
Duncan
go.
Jones.
Yeah.
Because he took his dad's original surname. Yeah. Which reminds me, I need to rewatch Moon. Anyway, this is not a movie podcast. Sorry. Yeah, Warcraft. Did you guys see the Warcraft movie? Did you like it
Nope,
at all?
I didn't.
I
see it.
saw it. I freaking loved it, dude. Like, I had a blast.
It was so like fan servicey. I was like so
exactly.
You know,
Good. I still like I'll see it eventually.
Like I had friends that said Rogue One was like too deep in like Star Wars fan service, and I was like, it was like spot the reference, and I was like, yes, I love that about it. But that's how Warcraft was.
I honestly watched the whole movie a second time just so I could see that polymorph scene again.
Oh,
It made me so happy. Like that just, oh man, that movie just as a whole it was everything I wanted out of a Warcraft movie. Like it made me happy.
Yeah, me
Good.
too.
I
Even
might
if it
get around to
didn't please American audiences that much, I don't know. I just wish it could have come out like when WoW was like at the height of its popularity, because I felt like it didn't have as much of an audience now as it did then when WoW was like a household name. But China liked it. I guess it made big bucks in China, so
Cool.
maybe we'll get Warcraft 2. All I want is Warcraft 3. I want to see Arthas's tragic fall on the big screen.
I'm like the only person that doesn't like Arthas. He's like the most boring character to me in the franchise. Like especially when you have people like Sargeras and like Deathwing and the old gods. It's like okay, and then we have Arthas who's just a Death Knight turn.
Well, I mean, playing Warcraft 3 at the time, it seemed so striking of a story for an RTS.
No,
I don't know. I was like really shocked.
Disagree.
I guess at the time, I mean, no, he's not the most interesting character in the franchise. The franchise is really big. And so I feel like at the time that gameplay experience was really kind of emotionally involving and surprising. Like you go from playing this paladin to, okay, you beat the campaign and suddenly you're this fucking murderous monster. And the next campaign you play in, you're like a horrible, evil, undead overlord, and the entire point of the game is to kill humans and to it was so like startling and different at the time. I don't know. That's I guess maybe that's the only reason I want to see it on the big screen. It's not like original content for a movie, but I don't know.
I mean, you have to understand. To be fair, Warcraft 3 is my favorite RTS of all time. So I'm not banging on the game at all. I just don't like Arthas. Like everything around that game, otherwise, like I adore it to death. I think the biggest problem, well, there's two big problems. The one problem, and like even after reading the novel, I wasn't impressed. Like I was like, okay, whatever, Arthas. Is one that him as a character doesn't have any interesting qualities. It's what he does that's interesting. It's not him that's interesting. And so because of that, I can't be invested in him. Two, he kills Uther, and I automatically can't like him.
That's why he's an awful villain, and I guess it's just kind of like that whole playing the villain thing. That it's kind of and I feel like you can do that in a lot of games. There's tons of games where you can kill everybody around you and stuff, but I don't know. There was a satisfyingly tragic character arc and progression.
Well, it's a journey, right?
Yeah,
because you see his journey going from good to evil throughout the whole entire game, and that's what makes it interesting. That's for sure.
It's like Blood Omen 1, where you start out. Has anybody played Blood Omen 1 by any chance? No? Oh, okay. In Blood Omen 1, have you played Soul Reaver?
Oh.
No? Fuck, you guys. Okay. Do you remember Soul Reaver? Like, commercials? Oh, fucking
I mean, I know what it is, but I've never played it, or whatever that's worth.
The very first game in that series is Blood Omen 1, and you start out where, like, you're this rich nobleman, you get murdered in the very beginning, and you're like, okay, the point is, like, I just want to become human again. I know that the higher powers in this world can make me human again. They've promised me that. And as the game progresses, they're like, okay, in order to become human again, you have to kill these madmen that are corrupting the world. And as you start taking all of these people out, like, you kind of realize that, hey, being undead is kind of awesome. I'm super powerful. And
it's part of the Legacy of Kain series. I've heard of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Legacy of Kain,
I've heard of them. I've never played any of them.
Oh, they're so good. They're so good. I will buy every single one of them for you on your platform of choice. They're like $2 on Steam.
Do it.
Wow.
I'm down. Or are they on Steam now?
They've been on Steam for years. And Blood Omen 1 is on PlayStation Network. That's the only way you can purchase it.
Oh, wow.
I will make that happen. Anyway, but it becomes this, like, you realize that you like being a vampire. You kind of like killing people is fun, and that's how you get your health back. And then by the end of the game, you have to choose, like, okay, it turns out it was all, like, oh, I can't actually come back to life, but I can sacrifice myself and make the world better, or I can rule over it and become a god. And, like, it's kind of like that sort of same thing with Arthas, where, like, you watch that character development as you go from being this, like, bright-eyed paladin to, like, a bloodthirsty monster who only cares about personal gain. It's like, I don't know. Oops. I got so excited. That's what happens when I talk about it.
You got so excited you threw your
yeah, when I talk about Legacy of Kain, I get so excited I knock things over. Legacy of Kain also has the best voice acting in a video game ever.
It's on PSN.
I will buy
just saying.
any of those games for you. All of those games for you. Just take my money and play those games.
Wait, I thought you could play all PS1 games on PS Vita also, but this one isn't listed as PS Vita compatible. That's really odd. Yeah, like they usually list it, even if it was a PS3, PSP game originally. Like if it's a PS1 game, it'll say that it has it on playable on PS Vita, but this one doesn't. That's really odd.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Blood Element 1 is in this really frustrating gray zone because all of the there's three. It was Silicon Knights, Crystal Dynamics, and Activision, and Silicon Knights is of course run by the infamous Dennis Dyack, who's crazy, has only ever been contained by Crystal Dynamics and Konami and Konami/Nintendo in the form of Blood Omen 1 and Eternal Darkness. So Activision was the publisher. Crystal Dynamics helped with the development, and there was this legal battle over who owned the rights to it. And because that was never resolved, nobody is allowed to republish that game except for Sony. So it's never going to be on Steam, it's never going to be on GOG, anything else, because they're still in fucking limbo with that 1997 game. Anyway.
But is it on PS Now at least, so more people can access it? I'm curious.
PS Now, I'm not sure. I know it's on PSN though.
Let's see, I'm checking right now.
Anyway, just put Sylvanas in the next Warcraft movie and I'll watch it.
I mean, she would have to be. She was kind of important in the Second War.
Good.
So, she'll be there, but not as a Banshee Queen. That doesn't happen until way later.
Didn't happen until the end of 3, or like until the Undead campaign of 3, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much.
Was
it Undead? Oh yeah, that's right, because that's when he kills her. God, fuck. Good times. Good times.
That's such a good character arc.
Oh no.
It happened again. She's so excited.
Yeah, Sylvanas is one of my favorite Warcraft characters.
Oh man.
I'm so glad that she became the leader of the Undead, and that she's like this central figure in World of Warcraft.
And now she's the leader of the Horde. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's right. Yeah.
I'm a troll guy myself, and then our guy ended up being the leader for a little bit, and then he got assassinated, and I was really upset.
That cinematic was so good too.
Like, it wasn't good, it was stupid. I hate that cinematic.
Keep him mad.
Just like one of the first times that for me I got emotionally invested in Warcraft. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it was really, and that's what makes me angry, because the trolls are always thrown in the side when it comes to Warcraft story. And I was so excited because, alright, we have a troll war chief, and then he dies in one expansion. And that doesn't bode well for Sylvanas. I hope that the same doesn't happen to her.
Well, Sylvanas already died, she's fine.
Yeah, but there's ways to keep the undead down.
Yeah.
And the Alliance is very upset with the Horde right now. So.
Yeah. And, I mean, the Horde doesn't like Sylvanas either.
That's true. It's a very iffy thing. And Sylvanas doesn't like the Horde either. It's a really odd situation.
I don't see her staying war chief for long, however it happens.
Oh, no. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's definitely a mess. I don't know.
I remember playing during that insane undead plague that was happening. Oh, gosh. Was that on the cusp? It was either during Wrath or it was, right before Cataclysm, where there was that special event where you could catch the plague and it would kill your character over and over again.
Oh, the blood plague? Yes.
That.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've heard stories.
It was before Wrath came out, because everybody was still in that central area in Burning Crusade, that city.
No, that was vanilla. That was from the Zul'Gurub when that raid was getting released.
Oh gosh, was it really?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Oh man.
Good times. That was
I love world events. I love like weird limited time events where things get crazy, but that got a little annoying after a while.
Yeah, that was a bit much. But yeah, I do agree. Like, and that's one of the biggest things that I'm kind of missing in WoW now. Like, because I was going back and doing the old raids yesterday, and like, I was like, man, remember when we had to actually work together to open the last raid? Like, and then how I like, everybody stands out when we ring the like hit the gong and like open the gates, and like that was great. And they don't do that anymore.
The gates of Encourage.
Yeah. Like, that was
man.
so cool, and like, they never did that. I don't think they ever did that again. Not even in Burning Crusade.
No, there was never that kind of sort of collaborative. Well, I guess there was a little bit with the Colosseum, but it never had that communal feel that Encourage had.
That was epic. I loved that.
Yeah. I missed that in MMOs when there was kind of like this server-wide effort to do something.
Yeah. Did you ever play Myst Online, out of curiosity?
Myst Online? Like MYST?
Yeah, dude. Because that was a server-wide thing too. Like each server had to work together to progress the game.
That sounds
so
amazing.
like you actually had like server-wide puzzles, and like as you unlocked it, you would unlock more of the game. It was really interesting.
Wow.
I had no idea that was a thing. Oh my gosh.
It didn't. If you play Uru, that's originally was an online game that they turned into an offline game because nobody played it and they wanted the story to be out there.
I actually used to play a crafting-centric MMO called A Tale in the Desert. There was no content, there was no monsters, it was just about crafting and politics. Nice. And people would, it was kind of like, it was set in Egypt, you could build mines, you had to like, the goals were like kind of like these server-wide goals, okay, like everybody has to try to build a pyramid, everybody has to try to work together to construct some sort of monument. And so like, it was all crafting centric. It was very small, but it meant like that the community was very communicative and helpful. And I kind of, because everything is instanced now, I really kind of miss that. There isn't really like kind of like these server-wide communities anymore. Like it was kind of like that in EverQuest because there were no instances, and so if there was, people would fight over raid bosses.
So Black Desert doesn't have any instances.
Oh,
That's
really?
Something cool. Yeah, there are no dungeons or anything. It's all just world bosses. There's just not that much content.
Great.
Yeah, and Guild Wars tried to do that, but it just kind of turned into these boring Zerg rushes, and there was there wasn't a lot of teamwork to it. It was just kind of like, all right, 1 million people throw themselves at this dragon, and
Guild Wars was a big disappointment, and I wanted so much out of that. It had so much
One
potential.
or two.
I really would love to see
both of them, in my opinion. Like I enjoyed them, but like they should have been better. Like,
yeah, I kind of wanted. I never really played any of the expansions after Guild Wars 1. It's like, that was okay. I had a PvP guild and stuff, but no, it just there's just something missing. It was fun for a while, though. I guess
it was all right.
It never really. I felt like it never lived up to its potential.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like they didn't. They could have done so much more with it, and they didn't.
Yeah, and then the story for Guild Wars 2 was so frustrating because you ended up not being the main character of the story. The main character of the story was an NPC with a magical sword, and you were just kind of along for his journey. And that I was kind of like, I don't want to be the chosen one all the time. Like I kind of like how it feels like with Final Fantasy XIV, you're a warrior of light, and all the warriors of light all got brought back. So you're kind of like they kind of avoid the chosen thing.
I'm tired of chosen ones.
Exactly. And so that was kind of an interesting subversion, but at the same time, it also was just kind of boring too. Like I was like, I don't really care about this guy and his cursed magic sword. Like, yeah.
Sounds dumb. I don't even remember the story in there. That's how bad it was.
I would really love to see someone like try to make a new like non-combat or really light on combat MMO, but no one's doing it.
I think A Tale of the Desert is still getting made, but I don't know how many people are playing it, and I don't think it's ever gotten an update. So it still has graphics from about the year 2005 or so.
Great.
But yeah, something else like that would be real cool.
Mm-hmm.
Something that's communal, something that's still an MMO. Yeah.
I just want another Myst Online, I'm not gonna lie. I don't care about anything else. Just give me another Mist Online.
The Witness Online.
Yeah, but if it was the Witness Online, I'd be happy, but it's not, unfortunately. Yeah, it's too bad. And I think that's part of like I always rant and rave amazing things about Legion, but that's another thing I really like about Legion is brought back a lot of these little things that we liked about the franchise previously. Like there's the new zone that released in the last patch that is kind of like Silithus, if you remember that.
Ooh,
it's kind of like that. Yeah, so like it's not exactly PvP in the sense that we're like battling for resources, but you are gathering resources and your faction is working to get buildings, and those buildings can get destroyed, and they give you abilities during your quest in that zone, which is really nice. Yeah, so like that's cool. Like they have like, you know, they actually have fun in engaging world bosses again, which they tried to do in the last couple expansions, but didn't really do it right.
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot of little things here and there that they kind of threw in, like the fact that, and that's another thing, I like that they made you into like a main character, like because you always play as part of this group, right, that always takes down all these bad guys, and like it's kind of nice because everything culminates now into this thing where it's like, okay, you've done all of this shit throughout this whole entire franchise, now you're the leader of your class, you know, like you finally worked so hard and it's finally paid off, and like Shaman, like I'm the Farseer now, and like that's badass. Like it's great.
That's a cool way of doing it. Yeah, because that way your character is important, but you're not the chosen one, you know?
Exactly, and like every class does that. That's one of the other things that so many people like about this is that like you have the main story, and then your class has their whole entire story. So they kind of brought back that class system that they had in vanilla. You know how I had to do like get my demon, and there was a quest line for that. Like shit like that was really cool.
Time to get my horse. I have to spend all this money to get all the ingredients to get my demon horse.
Exactly, and like it's the same kind of thing. Like you don't get abilities by doing it; they still kind of do it by leveling up and shit. But you get a lot of rewards for progressing your class story, which is really fun. Like I don't know, I love Legion. I could talk about it all day. So amazing. Good shit. And they got rid of dailies in a sense. Like they have world quests now instead, which is basically cycling dailies, but it's like zone per zone. The zones actually scale with you so that you don't get to steamroll through everything. Which is bad because you don't get to steamroll it through everything if you want. Good because every zone remains relevant throughout the whole entire time.
Yeah, because you think of like zones that were really cool, but that like you never go to anymore because of Lobby. You think of like I always liked the Night Elf starting area because it's those beautiful forests,
right?
And you never go back there because there's no reason.
And they fixed that in this. That's so many little things that they did. And the Demon Hunter class is really fucking badass.
Demon Hunter's pretty cool.
To be honest.
That was one of those things that they announced back when Warcraft was first announced. We're gonna have hero classes like Demon Hunter and Dark Knight or Death Knight, and it took forever for this to come out, but they're making it happen. That's cool.
And they're the best ones too. Death Knight is really badass too. Like the hero classes are fun as hell.
Yeah, Death Knight was fun to play. I didn't main it, but I did enjoy it.
It's even better now. You get to reform the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and you're working with the Lich King again. Like you actually go through the Frozen Throne for part of your quest line, which is amazing. Like I love it. Everything about it is amazing.
That gives me some dark flashbacks to doing that dungeon in vanilla where you fought the fucking four horsemen.
Oh yeah, Nexramus? Good shit.
Nexramus and going through the plague lands and stuff when they were like high level.
Oh dude, the plague lands. Oh, I was always horrified. You know, I stayed in Kalimdor specifically because I didn't want to deal with the plague lands. Silithus was always my zone, even though I didn't like Silithus as much, but anything's better than the plague lands.
Fucking yeah. And having to grind there, and it was PvP, and there was the stuff with that neutral faction that I can't think of the name of right. Oh man.
Yeah. Good times.
I love that experience of seeing stuff from Warcraft 3 brought to life in like this big epic way, and like these are the lines in the ground where like Arthas's death wagons roll thing. Like it's such a good experience.
It's definitely shit like that, especially coming from Warcraft 3, like having just played it, like going into WoW, like that was so neat.
It was really satisfying and really well done. And it's too bad because I feel like what do the kids play these days?
What do they play these days?
I don't know. Like, what's the play? Like,
Skyrim?
Yeah, like I feel like MMOs aren't really as much of a thing anymore.
Not really. No.
So I feel like for a while, WoW was like this cultural phenomenon, and people that had no idea what Warcraft was got really into WoW. And yeah, it's like they play Skyrim and Assassin's Creed and stuff.
Minecraft.
And Minecraft, yeah. I think the only
Man,
people that play WoW now are people who used to play it and just kept going, honestly.
Yeah, I remember seeing a blog post where people were talking about like dumb character design on like chainmail bikini type things, and somebody brought up the mascot character for EverQuest, who was not actually in the game for a very long time, and nobody in all the comments on this blog had any idea who she was. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember when EverQuest was like a cultural phenomenon in the United States, and people like there was a fucking support group that got talked about on like Good Morning America or something ridiculous like that, where it was like EverQuest widows, that kind of thing. And I'm like, oh man. And now there's people that don't even know what it is. Just like, I thought that EverQuest would always be a thing, I guess, just because it was such a big thing for so long. And I feel like WoW is starting to get like that too, which is kind of sad because there's so much to it.
But I mean, they're still going strong with like whatever 6-7 million players, which is
yeah,
still a shit ton. But I agree, it is definitely tapering.
Playing EverQuest too, so I don't know how much that counts for.
Oh, is it still up? I thought they took down the servers a long time ago.
No, well, I guess it's been about a year and a half or so since I checked on it. But last I heard, like what they do is just they like periodically relaunch it so that you have to unlock all the content from basically like they almost relaunch them like private servers. So it starts out where it's vanilla, and you have to unlock the next expansion.
That's
and
cool.
then you go through that expansion, and you have to unlock the next expansion. And since there were like 12 EverQuest expansions, it kind of turns into this sort of communal race to see which guild can unlock the content and advance everybody to the next expansion.
That's cool.
And it was actually really fun. There was like a leaderboard, and they would show like who unlocked the armor pieces for like the epic armor pieces and stuff. It was a really fun way of doing things for a while, but I think, admittedly, I don't know if that's still a thing.
Mm.
Still, that's kind of cool that they did that, honestly. Like, people love old content and doing that race and doing all that shit. And...
Yep. I mean, that's why private servers are a thing, right? And
yeah,
so
exactly.
You play the game in that old way where... Honestly, that's part of the thing that I got kind of bored with WoW, was I felt like it got to be really easy, and it really rubbed me the wrong way that you could just kind of buy your way up. You could buy a level 70 character, right? And I don't know, just like not requiring people to go through quests to get their warlock demons and mounts and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, don't try it now then. You'll get pissed off because now the game's obnoxious. Like, I tried... So, my favorite thing is that now dungeons have mythic difficulty that you can continually get harder and harder. And, like, I don't know how high it goes. I think it goes up to 99. I've gotten as far as, like, Mythic Plus, like, 14 before I had to stop because I was getting destroyed. But, like, they definitely did a really good job of having a good, very difficulty level for every instance, so everybody who wants to play can have something for them. Like, I love it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
It's great. Like, the raids have, like, 4 difficulties now, I think. I believe. Yeah, it's 4.
Gosh.
Yeah. And, of course, every difficulty adds new mechanics to the bosses, so it's not just, like, okay, more health and shit. Like, like, as you get to the harder difficulties, you have to relearn the fights. So it's more exciting.
I forgot what the mode was. Like, I remember doing the one that came after Karazhan was the dwarf ruins in Wrath.
Oh,
it was
Ulduar?
Ancient City. What's that?
You talking about Ulduar in Wrath?
Ulduar, yeah. When Ulduar kind of had the advanced difficulty stuff, and it was like the mechanics were different for the fights.
Yeah, that was when they first introduced it. That's right. Right. But they didn't really culminate in it until I think it was the last Mists of Pandaria raid. Like the very end, they introduced Mythic, and since then they've kind of perfected it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, 14 has that in the form of like, okay, you do raids for like the story, and it's fun, but they have hard mode and they have EX mode, and the mechanics for EX mode are intense.
It's good. That's how it should be. I like
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah, I definitely love that. I wish more games would do that with their instances where it's like, okay, I have one mode which is accessible where people who just want to see the story can do it, and then for all you people that actually want to earn your keep, here you go. Like,
Yeah, if you want to do the advanced content to get like the highest level stuff, it seems like a good idea, but there's always going to be people complain that they don't, that it's like, oh, it's too hard, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
nobody actually does that.
There
the
has to be a
who-
higher difficulty level for the people that make this like their primary hobby.
Yeah, exactly. And like those of us that don't do that, like it's okay because we're not missing out on anything. I can still do all the fights. Like, I still get all the content. I still get to see the story.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a big
Like
deal.
I used to raid in MMOs, and I was doing hardcore raiding in EverQuest, but also in Final Fantasy 14 for a while, and I realized like when it started, when we would get stuck on a fight, I was like, you know what? It's okay for me to play other video games because like I got most of the story. I'm not really missing out at this point, and I can go back when I have more time, when everybody's already used to the fight, instead of like having to make this like a second job. And that's okay. That means the people that are super into it, that have the time and the patience for it, can continue to enjoy it and
Right.
go back when it's easier. And I'm like, that makes sense. It seems like a pretty good way to do things, but I don't know.
Agreed.
That's like the current drama in 14 is apparently some people are complaining about raids being too hard. I'm like,
Really?
what EX mode is, dude? You already played story mode.
Oh wait, there's people complaining about EX mode being too hard. Really?
I'm not super up to the details, but I believe that's what I last read.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, like EX mode is too hard or something like that.
Good.
Justin, you haven't talked for a while. I'm sorry, we're talking too much about this.
Just MMO chat today.
It is MMO chat.
Yeah. Well, there is one other thing, actually. If you guys want to go back to cards for a while,
Yeah.
and also back to StarCraft Online, technically this is relevant. So, this is like a month old news by now, but Wizards of the Coast are, oh boy.
Why? What
So,
do they do? I'm curious.
So, first, remember Magic Duels?
Mhm.
Discontinued.
Yes.
It's over.
What? Really?
Yep.
You're a liar.
They are now in development of another game. That's all we know. It's being developed by Wizards of the Coast, and it'll be revealed more in September, apparently. But now they're also trying this whole, like, new branding of, like, Magic, like, digital content. And that includes working with, whatever the names of the Star Trek Online developers are. What's their... Cryptic.
Yeah, there
To
you go.
make a Magic the Gathering MMO.
I mean,
mean-
it could work. There's a shit ton of lore in that series.
I was
So-
just gonna say the exact same thing. Like,
I
I literally own Magic the Gathering novels.
I
Because, like, I was
love
invested
the
in
idea.
the guilds.
I love the idea, but I've never liked a cryptic game. So,
Out of curiosity, is Wizards actually making this game though? Like not the MMO, the card game you're talking about? Because they've never
apparently-
developed any of the other games. That's the thing.
apparently the card game is first party developed.
Okay, that could be good then. Because one of the
Wasn't
biggest complaints
Magic
about the rest.
Online first party?
Well, the OG Magic Online, but nobody ever played that shit. It was like,
I mean, Magic Online is garbage.
yeah, the UI is crap,
Yeah,
and the
and
fact
to
that I had
this
to
day,
buy my
they're still
cards
saying,
again,
like,
and, like,
They still say that, like, they like the way it's going, and I'm like, no. Like, if you like the way that's going, I don't want to see what you're doing with another game.
exactly. I didn't know that was still supported, honestly.
Yeah, apparently it is, and
One on no, was there? I know there's one on Steam that was really popular, and there was one before that. Is that correct?
So the whole Duels series, Duels of the Planeswalkers, and then the last one was just Magic Duels Origins. That
Yeah.
whole franchise, I thought they were all really bad. But with Origins, it kind of reached a point where, like, it was the first time they went free to play, and it was like, hey, we're, like, changing everything, you guys are gonna love it. Came out, everyone's like, no, actually, we don't love it. So they've said that this most recent expansion is the last one that's getting added, and after that, they're discontinuing the whole Duels line of games, I guess.
I mean,
And
so,
is that the one that's on Steam?
yeah, there's so Duels is on there right now. That's free to play, and the one thing most of us did like about it is the fact that it actually had actual sets. Like as the new sets came out, they were introduced into duels also, which is cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
But the biggest problem, which is something that whatever this stupid company that they've made all the duels of the Planewalker series. The problem is that I don't think they understand the intricacies of the game. So for those of us that actually played it like a lot, there's little things here and there where it's like, okay, like I could have done this in this phase, but it's not letting me because the game programmers don't know how to put the rule set in properly. Like it's little things like that, like because I played. Yeah, exactly. Like it pissed me off. Like I'd be like, okay, like I should be able to fucking interrupt right here, but it's not letting me. Like I quit. Yeah. And that's why I don't play the Planeswalker games.
I don't think they've ever made a digital platform for Magic that doesn't suck. I would love to play Magic the Gathering online. Just give us a good way to do it.
That's why you should just play Pokemon TCG with me instead.
Dude. Like, if it's not Magic, it's gonna have to be Hearthstone. Like, I don't think there's another card game that's able to, like... Or I guess I'm also gonna give Duelist another shot, too, actually. But otherwise, like...
Dude, so here's the thing that I love about Pokemon TCG.
No.
When I buy my cards, I get them digital and physical.
Oh, nice.
Oh, man, what a time to be alive.
I love it. So I get my stuff and then I put it there and I can actually play with people because there's nobody around me that plays a game. So I still get to collect my cards and I still get to play with people. Like I love it.
So you know how on Magic Online you had to buy all your cards again?
Yes.
You could also go the other way. If you had a bunch of cards, if you had a full set on Magic Online,
that's right.
You could get them physically.
Yeah.
If you were willing to give up the digital copies.
Yeah, and it was either way you couldn't have both, and that was really
god. Like I don't understand Wizards of the Coast. I think they're still stuck in the 90s to this day. And I'm so worried. I'm so worried.
It needs to stop, bro.
Yeah.
Well, at least, you'll always have a physical card game. I don't think that's ever going to die.
Yeah, but I don't have anyone to play that with.
Well, if you didn't live out in fucking Timbuktu, I'd play with you. You have like 50 billion decks.
Yeah, but what I also like about digital card games is the ability to earn cards for free.
That's true.
Play Pokemon TCG with me, bro.
Nah. Keep playing
You'll hate me.
Play Duelist. Play Duelist with me.
Duelist is great. Yeah, keep you used to play Duelist.
Oh my god, I already play WoW TCG with me. They're done.
You mean Hearthstone?
No, WoW TCG.
No.
Hearthstone is trash.
Is that still a thing? That's not still a thing, is it?
I don't think it is. No.
They stopped. Their last set was like 2014 or 15 or something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually done.
Sad. I remember back when the fucking ethereal tiger mount was selling like for $20,000 on eBay.
Oh my god, dude! I never redeemed any of my fucking loot cards. Good.
Wow.
Oh, man.
So remember how they also discontinued core sets in Magic?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently they're coming back and they're gonna release core sets again starting July of next year.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean I don't know why they had to stop doing that, but
yeah, it's a really nice way to give more variety to the standard sets. Because otherwise, like that's honestly one of the reasons why I quit. I think it was right before the most recent Innistrad set release was when I quit. Was a lot of that reason. Like everything revolves around like those archetypes that exist for each color. Like you can't do anything else. If you do anything else, it doesn't work because the freaking cards are designed for this one theme for each color. Right. It's really stupid.
Right.
I hate that.
Oh, so I guess they have a set coming up, the Iconic Masters set, which is just kind of like pulling from some of the best cards from the entire history of Magic, and they're all going to be together in a set. That could be interesting.
Is it going to be standard legal though? Because a lot of times they don't always do that.
I don't know. All I see is it's called Iconic Masters. It's going to have 249 cards coming out in November.
That could so fuck with balance, depending on how they do that with the rules.
Like, hey, look at our new Black Lotus. Whoops.
I was just thinking that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was still a thing.
It's usually why they don't make any of the specialty sets legal. It's only the main blocks and the cores.
Yeah, I'm just really interested in knowing what they plan to do with digital now. Now they're shutting down duels already. It's been like, what, 2 years? But yeah, I'm worried, because they don't have a good track record with digital games. At all, actually. Not just Magic, just Wizards of the Coast in general. Like, whenever their name is on something digital, just like, stop.
What else have they done?
Anything related to Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Like
that's
any
so
digital Dungeons and Dragons game ever.
I like their character thing though. They have a really nice digital character tracking tool that you can use
Cool.
that I used because I didn't know
That's
how to
not really
play
a
it, and I was like, that's cool.
game. I guess it is
It's not-
digital
it's not
though.
a game.
Well, yeah, it's digital and stamped, so by Wizard, so it counts. Did you
Yeah,
play
I don't
D&D
know.
online? That game was so stupid.
Yeah, I've heard bad things about it. I always wanted to.
Oh, good times. Not really. That was terrible.
Yeah,
That's
I am interested in a Magic MMO just for the sake of all the lore. There's so much they could do with that.
Yeah, it's
But-
a huge, rich world.
Yeah.
I remember what it was. Ravnica. I got really interested in the Ravnica storyline, and I bought one of the books, but I never got around to tracking down the other ones. So I guess I've just kind
Yeah.
of been sitting with one of the Ravnica books for about 10 years.
Yeah, I've had the first
Makes sense.
Onslaught book forever, and I loved that story, and I never went through the rest of it. And Onslaught was such a great story too. That and then the like one of the really, really early ones with the what was the Brothers' War and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like those two like storylines I thought were really great. But yeah, like they could do a lot with an MMO. I'm just worried because I don't personally like Cryptic Studios. But we'll see.
What else is
Did it-
Cryptic made? I'm drawing a blank
So
right now.
Star Trek Online, they also
Yeah.
did Neverwinter.
Conan? They did the Conan MMO?
The what?
The Conan the Barbarian MMO?
I don't
Mm,
know. I'm looking at.
No, that was Funcom.
I'm just looking at Wiki right now. They've done the City of Heroes / City of Villains,
Oh,
was fun.
that's-
Champions Online.
Yeah.
They've
Apparently,
done fun shit. What are you talking about?
they're also owned by Perfect World, which doesn't make me any more hopeful.
Yeah, but
Not a fan of Perfect World as a
no, I
company.
get it. Well, yeah, everything they do is trash. I was actually scared when that happened. I was like, no, what are you guys gonna do to Star Trek? You guys are gonna kill it, but
Mm.
they didn't.
But yeah, we'll see. Like, I will definitely give a Magic Online MMO a shot, but I don't have high hopes for it. I'm
Oh, so
kinda
they
worried.
stopped doing the novels in 2011, apparently.
Did they?
I was wondering. I was like, I haven't seen one in a while. The Mirrodin block was the last
Huh.
time they did a novel.
Did they say, like, hey, we're not doing these anymore, or did they just, like, kind of not have one?
I have no idea. I'm just looking at the list of novels by release
Oh.
date.
Okay.
That sucks.
But yeah, I do eventually want to go back and read the rest of the Onslaught cycle, because there's, like, not only was it a really good story, but a lot of my favorite cards were from that set, I think. That whole block was just, like, really fun.
Dude, I'm gonna come over right now and we're gonna play Magic. I'm so
No.
down. I never have anybody to play with. I need people to play with. It makes me so
I
sad.
really want to get into Magic, but I need it to be digital. I just can't justify buying and storing physical cards. Because I'd want to, like, eventually have, like, all of them. Like, with
Oh,
Hearthstone,
no.
I'm always just like, I
Don't.
gotta get all the
Really
cards.
don't.
Like, I mean,
I don't
if
know.
I had a physical copy of my Hearthstone collection right now, I just wouldn't have anywhere to put it.
I think
I cannot put into words how heavy those boxes of cards get and how much space they take up.
Yeah. I used to have a ton of Magic cards. Like,
Okay,
so
then you know.
many. And I just, no, I'm not doing that. Never
Yeah.
again.
I think I've asked this and I can't remember. I believe the answer was no, but just in case. Are you guys familiar with Legend of the Five Rings at all?
I don't think so.
Legend of the Five Rings is another CCG that went from the mid-90s until just about a couple years ago. And, oh boy, we were very invested in that game. And it's now officially dead. It's being converted into an LCG. But it's like, a lot of people just immediately dumped all their cards, but we just haven't had the heart to do that. We just, we invested so much in this game and this... Because the way L5R worked was that with tournaments, they didn't do cash prizes, but they did determine how the story would progress. And so it wasn't
really?
like... Yeah. So, like,
Cool.
if the such and such faction won this tournament, then they would decide which character did what. Or, like, it got even... So it's kind of like... It was kind of like sort of a fantasy samurai thing. And so this one year they did like this mega game. It was the race for the throne. And it was which clan is going to like have somebody from their clan become the emperor, and who are going to be the various cabinet members. Who's going to be the shogun? Who's going to be the minister of this? And so it wasn't just like traveling to tournaments and winning games. They also had like online contests and offline contests and scavenger hunts, and like it was just people, just buying so many cards and books. And we got really invested in the characters, and like people had characters, would win tournaments and have characters named after them. And like we just have boxes and boxes and boxes of cards for this game that nobody plays anymore. And it's like we're still trying to figure out, like, we need to go through these about 100 pounds of cards, and like we gotta start thinking about this, because this game is never coming back. We don't have anybody to play with, and
see, what you should do is get people who play TCGs to introduce them, because that's what I do with most of my friends. Like, we'll be playing Magic, and we'll be like, okay, you like Magic? So I'll pull out my Watch TCG cards. I'm like, let's do a fucking raid right now. And like, it's great, because that's how, like, I have, so same kind of thing. Like, there's so many cards that I have, like, I turn them into decks for different roles that I just throw at people. I'm like, you want to be a priest? Here you go. You want to be a shadow priest? You want to be this, that? All right, let's raid. And then, like,
that's a good idea.
If you know how to play MTG, you can play almost anything. So you can get them into other stuff.
We definitely tried that, especially because my husband would just like constantly build decks and come up with like ridiculously kitschy decks, and so we would have like 12 pre-decks made for like people to play with, but it was so hard to teach people. Nice. Or get people invested. But CCGs, I loved it.
So I just found the last two Onslaught books for extremely cheap on Amazon, so I might actually get those.
99 plus
no, they're like $3, free shipping.
Still,
yeah, most of the books are only like $3 now. Do it, dude.
I should get the rest of my Ravnica books.
Do it. All right, let's just buy all of the MTG books and just
so
marathon.
Many.
I mean, there's only like. Just kidding.
Let me see.
There's a lot. Because they did it for like every
cycles, each one having 2 to 3 books.
Right.
Except the first cycle had 4 books.
So just 3 times 14. Which is
plus all of the original like non-cycle books. That there's like 10 extra books there.
I quit.
Good
You
night.
officially killed me.
I don't know if any of those are actually canon. Apparently, because I don't know. There's so much.
I don't know. Good. Get them from me.
No.
I'll buy you the 2 that you need if you buy everything else from me. I mean, it's a fair trade. Let's be real.
I believe it's not that.
I'm pretty sure it's probably the fairest trade you'll ever have in your
life. The only other so besides the Artifacts cycle, which was like 2 massive books, and then the one Onslaught book. The only other book I ever found was one of the Mirrodin books, but I started reading it and I was like, what? Hold on. Oh, this is book 2.
Oh,
and I was just like, well, I give up. I think I even still have that. It's like, well, okay, cool. But yeah, there's so much. Like, they could definitely make a good MMO out of that. I'm worried.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so thankful that we have like these Amazon vendors that just sell like every fucking sorry, I was going to try not to swear in the podcast. And
that's fine. We're adults.
Yeah, we don't care.
Sort of.
Like any like crummy, mediocre paperback spin-off book like that you would never find at a library and are long since sold out. You can find that on Amazon if need be. Mm-hmm. Like a ridiculous tie-in book, like Magic and stuff. Like just Victorian Vampire the Masquerade novels. I was able to finish my collection for one off Amazon, which I don't finish reading.
Great.
Oh, dude. I need to get those really shitty the Doom books that they made. I read the first one and like I loved that as a kid. Good times.
Dune, the novels, the Frank Herbert's Dune?
No, not Dune, Doom. Like based on the PC game.
Oh my gosh, they made novels for it?
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4. They were all horrible.
Oh man, I kind of want to read them just for nostalgia, but I could probably never appreciate them as an adult, but still.
Yeah, they were so bad.
Did you ever play the most recent Doom game?
I'm currently working my way through it slowly. Yes.
Okay, cool.
It's
It is.
slowly.
We talked about that in my very first podcast. I had just finally beaten it. It's so much fun to play.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I'll beat it eventually. I'm 100%ing every level, so I'm spending a lot of time in each level because I don't want to get.
Oh yeah.
And like I'm only on like the 4th level right now, so 4th or 5th, I forget.
Yeah, some of the it's such a good classic first-person shooter where like you actually have to look for secrets, and man, those secret levers are really well hidden.
Yeah, right? That's usually what I spend most of my time doing. Like, I just unlocked the ability, though, to show automatically on the map where everything is located, and I sung in happiness.
Oh yeah, that was the first shit I went for.
Oh, man.
Was to unlock that ability.
Hell yeah.
It's so satisfying.
My god. Remember the sets from Magic? The what are they called?
Unhinged.
Yeah, Unhinged
There was a match
and
now.
Unglued.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a set for release in December of 2017 called Unstable. I desperately hope it's another one of those.
Look it up. Let's see.
All I can find on the site is December 8th, 2017, Unstable. Number of cards, 216-ish. It's gotta be. Oh my god, yeah, and the hashtag is MTGUN3, implying it's the third of the unsets.
Oh, nice.
I need this. I love
Oh, it's a
those
25th
stupid
anniversary thing.
cards.
Yeah, it's silver boarded. Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
It is. Nice. I just found an article about it.
I can't wait for it to just be like, rip this card in half.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, Lord. Freaking good times. Good times. All right, let's play MPG. I'm literally coming to your house right now.
Oh god.
Yeah.
No, don't do it.
I'm actually driving over there. You're going to love... Oh, man. Actually, my friends
Dude,
don't like me. Because
If
I
you
have a
guys
really
come
stupid
stay
deck.
here to see Boris, teach you guys L5R.
Let's do it. I'll do it if you raid with me in WoW TCG.
Stop this.
Okay. Yeah, let's make it happen.
All right, deal.
I do want to see Boris though.
He's like, that's the only reason.
Their new album is coming out like tonight/tomorrow. Technically
Oh,
tomorrow,
that's-
but with Bandcamp, I feel like albums lives come out a little early, so maybe it'll actually be sometime tonight.
They're releasing on Bandcamp? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's so
they
sweet.
I believe, just as long as they're releasing stuff on Sargent House puts all their stuff on Bandcamp.
Oh my gosh, what a glorious time to be alive.
Yeah, so you can get, let me see, you can get their new album, Pink, well, the reissue of Pink with all the, like, extra tracks. Noise, they're split with Asobi Sexu, new album, Attention Please, and Heavy Rocks. So not everything they've done in a while, but, like, pretty much all their, like, major label stuff. Looks like it's all available from Sargent House. That's really cool.
That's so amazing, then rather than having to pay, 3,500 yen plus shipping from CD Japan or Yes Asia or something.
Although, these aren't physical though. So if you want,
no, it's still digital, but it's just that having that option is so incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it'll
Options are
probably
never
be
a bad thing.
on iTunes too, but I'd much rather give my money to Bandcamp than iTunes.
Oh yeah, hate iTunes.
Yeah, I'm
and
actually
I'm sure
really
you
upset.
can probably, not on Bandcamp itself, but Sargent House probably sells like physical copies of the stuff too. They did with Noise. I actually have I have Noise on vinyl, and it's
really
cool.
happy that they do that.
That was one of the big mistakes when I was like, oh, got shirt in the biggest size. Supposedly my size doesn't fit. Like, oh man, Japanese shirts, just stop. I can't.
GG, not well played.
Yeah. Yeah, Boris, soon. That's not games, but that's fine.
That's kind of like games.
It's Japanese. It's A to J. Well, this is an A to J. It's not. It's 4K.
It technically is, but
4K.
Yeah, it's 4K and Knuckles.
4K.
just don't put the A to J logo on it, because then Manuel's gonna be all over. It's just like, oh, we don't
He'll
need that.
never see it. Who cares?
Good night, Manuel.
He actually watches through like every one of our episodes too, doesn't he? Like he's so
I'm pretty sure he doesn't watch any of them.
Really? Because he always asks me weird questions like randomly. He's like, "Remember that time you guys talked about this on a podcast?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Why you actually watch him? What is going on?" That's Manuel for you. He's our #1 dedicated fan, closet fan that never tells anybody, but he's there, always supporting us.
Please subscribe to our Patreon.
Yes.
Do that. By the way, we have gone like 20 minutes over when Tipu said he had to leave, so...
Oh, how about
That's
it,
cool.
Tipu?
I'm waiting for my
It's
mom to
fun.
text. Actually, she hasn't texted me. So I'm fine.
Oh, good.
Good shit.
Maybe we should wrap up to be safe, though.
That sounds
I
fun.
mean,
So,
oh,
what
we
do
should
got?
mention.
Well,
We should mention
should we?
before we go the Pokemon announcement, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean, from the Mystery Files video.
I mean,
that
we
they...
kind of talked about at the beginning about how Pokemon are real, and...
Okay, that wasn't what the actual announcement was. God
Well-
damn it, Justin.
We don't know what the actual announcement was, though, so it could have been.
I'm pretty sure that's not. I don't know.
Why?
I'm
What
gonna-
would you know?
I know everything. Dude, there's a cup coming up.
I'm
that's
gonna
really
call
stupid.
Reggie right now.
Reggie has nothing to do with Pokemon though, right?
I mean, Nintendo,
Reggie's my
Pokemon,
dad.
it's all kind of...
The next tournament is a weakness cup, so you can only use Pokemon that have 5 or more weaknesses, and that's gonna be really freaking obnoxious because everybody's gonna be one-shotting each other. It's gonna be amazing.
Great.
Hey,
I really love that they do these weird things. So, like the last one was a tiny cup. You can only use Pokemon that are 1 meter high or lower.
oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah,
That's
like
actually
they're
kind of a fun little like challenge.
yeah, it's great. The only problem was because it's fun shit, they don't really think it through. And like that one,
Yeah.
for example, there's a couple Pokemon that are actual like VGC quality Pokemon. So because of that, like everybody who didn't use that automatically loses. And like so every team was pretty much the same because there's only like 6 you could really use that were useful. Everybody who played for fun was like, you got screwed because everything else is not evolved Pokemon. Like, all right, I'm going in with the Caterpie. Let's hope I win. You know, like. But it was fun. I like it. They keep. I hope they keep doing shit like this. Pokemon's doing really well right now. I'm happy.
Dream Daddy Dating is launching tonight.
Dream Daddy Dating.
Dream Daddy Dating is launching, yeah.
Why does that sound familiar? I feel like we talked about
It's been all over like Twitter and social media and stuff. It's the visual novel that's written and starring a bunch of the Game Grumps.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be like this big dumb joke at first, but I was watching a preview for it, and actually the writing actually seems to be really, really heartfelt, as opposed to just like lol gay jokes or something. Kind of cute, actually.
Oh my God! Look, I just saw the build that dad screen. I'm dead.
Yeah, there's like a character creator and stuff. But like there's actual like dialogue trees, and it doesn't seem like it's just like a dumb jokey dating sim kind of like stay or something. It's actually like there's characters that have development and caring about their family and being socially awkward or being socially smooth and stuff.
Right. It actually looks kind of it does look kind of interesting. Like I'm reading the description, and they're like it sounds kind of like Danganronpa in the sense that like it's a hybrid game. It's not just a visual novel. Like it says there's like actual games in it too that you kind of play to advance the story and like.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Looks
There's in the preview that I watched. When you meet another dad at the park while you're exploring the neighborhood with your daughter, and you get into a bragging match with another dad about your children's accomplishments, and it starts a Pokemon minigame, and it literally does like the gray original Game Boy screen with sprites and like chiptune music while you like do attacks, like bragging about your kid. It was just like really funny, cute minigame ideas. Like, I'm excited about this.
Cool.
Perfect. Buy it for me. It doesn't even have a price. What is happening? It's not nice.
I can't buy it for you because I have to buy it for myself. So
Buy
I
it
can
for
write
both
a
of us.
review. So that Manuel, okay, I'll buy it for both of us.
All right, done. That was easy.
You have to write a review with me though.
I don't think we can. I don't think that qualifies as something we can write on the site, unfortunately.
No deal. I'm only gonna buy Legacy of Kain games for you guys. Sorry.
I'm okay with that too.
Good.
Okay, I'll make that happen.
All right, do it. Get it all on PlayStation though, because I like having
I can
everything
do
in
that.
one place.
If I have to like send you a physical freaking PlayStation Network card, I would do that.
Oh, dude, I'll play them too. I've always wanted to. It's just, I mean, I grew up on Nintendo and Xbox, so I joined Sony late in the game, so I have a lot of catching up to do.
Okay. Yeah,
You ever heard of that that one franchise, Metal Gear?
Oh, yeah, that one?
You know, interestingly, actually, the first one I played was actually on Nintendo. And then I finally got PlayStation. I was like, all right, let's play the rest.
Oh, no.
Oh, funny story. That port was done by was one of the only other games that was a successful release by
Silicon.
Dennis Diak's company, Silicon Knights.
Yeah.
And that was apparently because Nintendo was like watching over them at all times.
Makes sense. I really enjoyed that too, but I meant to actually play the OG MG games on the NES.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big fan. I'm not that big of a fan.
Oh, dude.
No,
well, I didn't know what they were as a kid.
I tried playing Metal Gear 1 when they were both bundled with Metal Gear Solid 3, and I couldn't.
Yeah, they're just hard and kind of weird and dumb and
yeah. There's only so much Nintendo old hard game nostalgia that I can take, and I'm like, if I'm gonna do that, I'd rather play DuckTales or Donkey Kong Country or something.
Donkey Kong Country's legit, but you know how it is as a kid. I don't have a choice in what I get. I was like, all right, I have access to this game. It's all I can play, so let's play it. You know,
play Banjo-Kazooie, the Dark Souls of platformers.
The Dark Souls of platformers? Is that really what you just called it?
Oh, that's what everybody's been calling it. It's dumb.
The Crash Bandicoot?
That's what I meant. I said.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, are you talking about Crash?
Yeah, I meant Crash Bandicoot, but I'm dumb because I don't play platformers.
Good. No, see, I never played Crash either.
Yeah, wasn't that what everyone was saying? Crash Bandicoot. They were calling the new one the Dark Souls of platformers for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's kind of a joke. Yeah, except that the real answer to that is Contra.
Hey, I mean, Dark Souls has the occasional platforming element. That's also the Dark Souls of platforming.
Oh yes.
Does it really?
If you ever have to jump in Dark Souls, it's just you might as well uninstall at this point. There are a couple times where it's oh, there's an item you can get if you jump over here. It's oh man, I don't know if it's worth trying to actually
Not worth it. See you guys.
The jumping is just so weird. Dark Souls dumb.
Good.
You gotta sprint before you're allowed to jump. You have to be mid-sprint, and then you have to click in the analog stick to actually jump. I hate it.
Wait, what? You have to click the analog stick to jump?
Yeah.
That's really
awkward. I mean, I'm sure you could rebind it, but I don't feel like it. So. Oh, no. Dark Souls is dumb. Whenever you have to jump, just don't do it.
Good. Well, rolling is the only function that you really need to know.
Yeah, obviously. So what do we have coming up for AJ? Also, what happened to Laura?
She fell off the face of the earth again.
Oh no.
She literally fell off the face. Well, good thing
we're
concluding.
So well this time. Well, that's fine.
We're concluding. It's okay.
I guess.
So I don't know. This weekend is something, isn't there? Manuel said he's going to San Francisco for something.
Is he?
Yeah, he actually specifically said that he just bought, or needs to do laundry because he's going to San Francisco tomorrow and he hasn't done laundry. That's what he told me. Huh. And the only reason he travels is for cons, so I'm assuming something's happening.
Let me see. Let me actually look at the page for once and see what we have coming up.
No. Wait, do we still do the calendar, really?
No. But, just looking at, our events page,
GG.
There's literally nothing in July.
Oh, sweet.
Wait. Yeah, we have no upcoming events. Come on.
It's gotta be something. I don't believe you.
Let me see. Do we have any, posts? Hey, what's happening?
July 15th. Anime and Cosplay Festival 2017, is that what it is? No. He probably wouldn't go all the way up there just for that.
I mean, there's Manuel. He'll do anything for something.
It's a one-day event.
God.
Although there's Frisco, whatever. Either way, yeah, there's really not much happening until next month, I believe.
I don't know. New Boris album tomorrow. That's cool. Boris is great. Laura could back that up if she was here.
Get it? And there's plenty of options, so you have no excuse.
Yeah. What else? Are there any games coming out?
I don't even keep track anymore. I don't have money, so I just play all my old games now.
Pyre still isn't out until, for, another 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, that comes out the 25th, so pretty much. So, next episode, I'll be able to talk about Pyre.
I'm actually trying to look real quick before we go. See what else. April, May, June, July. Splatoon 2 is this month.
Oh, cool. I
Oh,
don't have a
snap.
Switch, so that's fun.
I keep forgetting the Pikmin game is this month too. Good. Let's see what else. Oh, there's a new Professor Layton game that's coming out this month too. It's a mobile game. What the hell? How did I not know about this? Alright, well, I'll have to get that. Modern Warfare Remastered is finally releasing for those 2 people that actually care.
Yeah.
Oh, Final Fantasy 12 just came out for those who aren't.
Yeah, it did.
And that's pretty much it.
Mildly interested, but I don't want to spend money, so nah.
I'll get it when I'm ready.
Blizzard has some stuff. They just announced the next Hearthstone expansion, which is Lich King themed.
Oh yeah, that's early next month that it releases. It's August 1st or something, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
It's early next month. Let's see, Frozen.
I forgot what it's actually
the
called.
remaster's
It's called
coming out this
Knights
month.
of the Frozen Throne.
Isn't it? Oh no, that's next month. The StarCraft remaster?
Maybe.
That's next month.
We're getting Doomfist pretty soon. He's on the PKR. He's fun. Play Doomfist, everyone. Overwatch.
That'll probably be this month, honestly.
Yeah, almost definitely. The StarCraft guy just got added to Heroes of the Storm. The whatever. What's his name? With the hat. Yeah, him. Either just got added or is about to be added. I don't know. Yeah, it says he's entered the Nexus, so he's there. What else? What are Blizzard games? That's pretty much all that's going on Blizzard.
Double gold for Hearthstone players, for those of you that haven't been playing and haven't been paying attention. Yeah, it's ends. It started last week, right? So I think it ends Tuesday. Tuesday is reset time for all their games. So you still have a little bit of time. Double gold. New Tavern Brawl is stupid.
Good.
Have you played it?
Did they change it? The last one I played was when it was you get the little Ragnaros.
That was literally the last one.
Okay, so what's the new one?
Every single creature minion. What do they call them in that game? Minions.
Minions, yeah.
Every single minion has oh my god, I'm mixing MTG, not haste. Charge and taunt.
Gross. That sounds amazing, actually.
Well, it's really obnoxious. Like I just made like a full death rattle deck. Like it was really stupid.
Stop it.
I love it. So that's going on in Hearthstone for those of you that want to try it out.
Yeah, I do. I like Hearthstone. Sort of.
That's all I can think of.
Oh, Battlerite is having a free weekend. If anyone hasn't played Battlerite, that's like a it's kind of like a MOBA without the MOBA parts.
Mm-hmm.
Like they took all the gameplay of a MOBA and just put it down to just the combat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically like a team fight just always going on. It's actually really fun, but you have to pay for it while it's in early access. I think it's going to be free to play when it eventually launches. But they're having a free weekend right now, apparently, so I might actually give that a shot. Because that looks kind of cool.
Sweet. Alright, well, that's actually my cue. My mom is calling right now, so
good.
perfect timing.
Okay. Cool.
And Laura's gone anyway, so...
Yeah.
Sweet.
So thanks for watching.
There you go.
You can find us on the internet, where we live.
Or wherever we live. Just
where we
come
live.
and beat me
No,
up.
the internet is where we live, I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and sorry the faces have been messed up, but, I mean, I didn't want to fix it because we were ending anyway, so whatever.
Yep, pretty much.
You can just enjoy that lovely picture of Jeff Kaplan. Thanks for watching.
Right.
See you in like 2 weeks. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.